Today we're going to be taking a look at 75387 boarding the Tantive 4. And yes, it's pronounced Tantive, not Tantive E. I have no idea who came up with that, but that's just stupid. Anyways, this set will be releasing on March 1st with 502 pieces and a retail price of $55. And as some of you might know, this set is part of celebrating the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, hence the logo on the box. And because of that, it is including an exclusive 25th anniversary Fives figure. And I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again, but man, the box art on these 25th anniversary sets just looks absolutely incredible. I'm so happy that for as of now at least, LEGO is sort of starting to stray away from the over minimalistic box arts that we had from like 2022 to 2023, and once again giving us very fun and vibrant box art. It's so good that I almost don't even want to open it, but that's what I gotta do for this review. And digging into it, you're going to find 5 separate bags as well as your instruction manual, and Darth Vader and Fives are both in the last bag, which ironically happens to be bag number 5. Taking a look at the instructions, on the first few pages you're just going to have some random LEGO advertising, and then you're going to hop straight into the building process, and then on the very last pages you're going to find a picture showing off that if you buy 2 of these sets you can connect them and make a longer hallway, and then some cool advertising for the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars. Moving on to the minifigures, first up here we have the Rebel Fleet Troopers, and these guys look great, and their design is really simple but without flaw. A lot of people said they should have had dual molded legs, and I definitely think they would have benefited from dual molded legs. However, the absence of them really does not bother me one bit. I always love Rebel Fleet Troopers, but there kind of is a bias there because the 2008 Rebel Battle Pack was my first ever LEGO Star Wars set. And also they both have double-sided faces, with the second face being an angry face. Next up here we have Captain Antilles, and just like the Rebel Fleet Troopers, he looks very good as well. Again, like others have said, he could have benefited from dual molded legs, but it doesn't bother me. I think this is a great figure, and he as well has a double-sided face. And then next up here we have the Stormtroopers, and yes, they're still using the oversized dual molded helmets. It's been years now and LEGO is still using these and they still look awful, and there's really not even an excuse for it. Usually for things of this manner, LEGO has excuses or explanations about why they do it, but there's no explanation for this helmet. It just looks bad and they keep on using it. But on the upside, every other part of these figures looks great, the printing is incredible, and you do get 2 of them in this set, both with different head prints. And then next up here we have Darth Vader, and this is the same Darth Vader that LEGO has been using for a few years now, and he looks great. He's got detail all over and he's got really good arm printing, and he has very nice head prints on both the front and the back. And then lastly we have the figure that you guys have all been waiting to see, which is our Trooper Fives, and right off the bat I have to say he actually looks pretty good. Yes, his helmet print is far from accurate, and I'm definitely a sucker for accuracy. However, it's still symmetrical and it doesn't look sloppy like some of the other recent clone troopers, and then the rest of his printing looks incredible as well. His arm printing is great and his torso printing is great, and then very surprisingly his printed comma doesn't look bad at all. I think obviously the reason is because his comma has a different shape and it sort of goes in like a triangle towards the middle, and as a print it definitely does not represent a comma like it should, and it definitely should be a physical one. However, it definitely doesn't look as bad as some of the others like Captain Rex or Commander Fox. And then around back he's gonna have a custom brick built backpack with printing underneath that as well, and then underneath his helmet you're gonna find a basically near perfect printed face. It looks absolutely incredible. Now everything I've said about this figure has been pretty good so far, but that definitely doesn't mean that it's without flaw, because there's one really bad thing about him, and that is his pauldron. It looks absolutely terrible. It just sticks straight out on both sides and makes him look like he has wings on its neck or something, and I've seen other people say that you have to sort of fold it down yourself, and that just doesn't work. It just flops right back up and is just still straight, and it just looks flat out bad. I think LEGO should have used a custom plastic one, but other than that I think the rest of this figure looks good. Yes, I wish he would have had a physical waist cape and accurate helmet printing, but he doesn't look bad. The only thing that looks bad on him is his pauldron, and he does come with this little 25th anniversary stand that has this nice print on it, and also included is a black 2x4 plate so you can connect it to the other 25th anniversary figure stands, similar to what they did in 2019 with the 20th anniversary figures. And overall I think this minifigure lineup is perfect for this set. Really the only bad figures in this set are those Stormtroopers, not even the Stormtroopers, literally just their helmets, and then obviously Fives' pauldron, but all the other minifigures are great, and getting 7 minifigures in a $50 set is just unheard of nowadays. Now moving on to the actual hallway build, it looks really nice. There's lots of studs so you can really place the figures in any way you want on here, but there's also an even balance between studs and tile, and it looks really good. On the sides here there are these 4 levers that when you turn, a little tile pops up from the floor, and you can place your fleet troopers and your stormtroopers to where they are sitting on these tiles, and then turn the levers to make them pop off, and it's really fun to do. This is a great play feature. You can really actually act out the fight to where when one of them gets hit, they fly off the floor. And even as a collector that mainly displays my sets, I still think this is very fun to play with. The door at the end of the hallway is printed, and when you open it, there are some red transparent pieces that sort of suggest that it had been blasted open. And the way it works is that on the back side, there is this little lever you can turn and the whole door just slides over. And this mechanism actually goes basically all the way down the whole entire hallway on the back side. And there is another lever at the end that you can also use to open it, but every time I've tried, it just ends up getting caught, so I use the one that's closest to the door. But no matter which lever you use, it is really fun to play with. This is such a cool feature, and the fact that they actually included some red transparent pieces to make it look like it had been blasted open is just so cool. Right above the door, there is a little sticker on a 1x2 tile, and then from there, the rest of the hallway is incredibly detailed. There are a few stickers throughout that definitely give it a good look, and I'm not opposed to stickers, but the ones on those cheese slopes are pretty hard to put on, and I wish they would have just been printed to save the hassle of putting them on, but they still look good on the final result. And then at the very end, you're going to have another doorway, which has nothing on the other side, but it still looks good. And as you saw earlier, there's nothing to see on the backside besides the door opening mechanism. On the top here, there are some gray plates, which look fine, but like others, I wish they would have been tiled off with white tiles. At first, they're not very noticeable at all, but after a while, they do get kind of distracting. The set does include some extra pins that you can put on the end here, to where if you bought 2 of these, you could connect them and make one long hallway, just like the picture from the instructions, and I think that's a great feature if you end up buying 2 of these. Now, I do have one main complaint about this build, and that is that the actual floor space is pretty narrow compared to the wall at the end, which kind of just sticks out awkwardly, leaving this pretty large space between the edge of the floor and the end of the wall, which again just kind of looks awkward. I know they had to make the wall pretty long so the door mechanism would have enough room to work, so as a compromise for that, I wish they would have made the floor maybe like 1 or 2 studs wider, just to shorten how far the wall in the end sticks out. They also could have maybe extended it with some white pieces to just suggest that there's supposed to be a wall on the other side that also curves upwards. I think either solution would have worked, but in the final product, the floor is pretty narrow compared to how wide the end wall is. And to me personally, it's just kind of awkward looking. Now, the last play feature with this set, and arguably the best play feature, is with this little transparent cylinder piece that you can actually use to make Captain Antilles look like he's being force choked by Darth Vader. And it looks absolutely awesome how you can perfectly recreate this scene in Lego form. And overall, I think this set is incredible. The only downside is the floor space being a little bit too narrow, and then obviously the Stormtrooper helmets, but other than that, it's awesome. The door mechanism is really fun to play with, and the walls are very, very detailed, and it just makes for a really, really awesome display piece and a really fun playset. And the fact that you get 5s included on top of everything else is just a really nice bonus. Even though his pauldron looks terrible, the rest of him is pretty good, and it's just cool to get an extra figure. And would I recommend this set to you guys? Absolutely. I think it's a great deal for $55, especially getting 7 minifigures. And for all of the people in my comments that keep on saying we need more Rebels and Stormtroopers, this is the set for you. So because of that, I'm going to give this set a 9.3 out of 10. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and if you're new, please consider subscribing. And if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see them on the screen right now.